Hey guys, so I created the low poly model and unwrapped every single one of them. Now I'm doing one last step to prep these models for Matplus. So close. I'm not the most strategic or smart when it comes to these kind of things, but this is the part where I wish I was. Like everything needs to be accurate, like naming UV layouts or mesh placements for the bake to work. If things are off, then it's gonna make me scratch my head and backtrack and see what the hell I did wrong. It's that type of work, but we're getting there, folks. After this, we get to go to Matplus and start the baking for this model. So yeah, let's push through. Alright, so time to move on to the next phase. So to do that, first, before I guess, I'm gonna get rid of these empty because they're not really serving any purpose. Like I used it for mirroring, right? And now that I kind of unwrapped everything, the mirror's not there. And what I want to do is basically start separating some of the objects that are animating. So basically what I mean is something like this finger, right? This finger right here is going to kind of, object set version to geometry. It's going to like rotate like this, right? It's gonna rotate and just kind of move around. So by doing that, that means when I bake, there's gonna be an AO, like this pinching right here between this finger and this finger is gonna create an AO that's basically like a shading between these fingers, right? And that's something that I want to avoid, because again, like if I were to turn the finger, there's going to be a shadow right there, which shouldn't exist. So I need to separate this. Okay, so to do that, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to select this whole finger right here, GY, and this is along with the Highpoly. Okay, so you see I'm selecting both low poly and high poly, right? So GY, just kind of like enough distance. That's good. So yeah, same thing with these kind of nuts and bolts. So these nuts and bolts, they aren't animating. However, I also would want to separate this because I want to kind of duplicate it, right? Duplicate it and add it into place like right here, or somewhere up there, or just kind of along the body maybe, right? So again, like I don't want the AO to bake just right here, and then it's not going to have right here, right? Ideally, you want it everywhere you want to place first and then bake it, but that's going to be annoying too, so I'm just going to keep this separated, like right here. So anyways, I'm going to go in and just choose any piece that I want the AO to bake separately. So something like that, maybe the thumb, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Next up, I want to mirror certain objects that aren't going to animate. So for example, like this hydraulics, I know hydraulics should animate, but in this case, the way I want to use this model, it's not going to animate at all. So I just want to duplicate this onto the other side for the purpose of, well, first of all, different textures, and also baking the AO onto the body. Okay, and to do that, let's use this body as the center point. Okay, and let me just select these guys. So yeah, I'm just gonna select all the hydraulics, and also don't forget like buttons like right here, like these kind of back area, and this one has high, so I'm just gonna select the low, just making sure I'm selecting everything. So I think these are it. Oh, I think I remember I had these button right here as well. Again, just a low poly. Yeah, I think that's about it, right? Oh, one more right here. Come on. All right, so I got all these. I'm just gonna duplicate it, or Control Alt X and then mirror. There you go. Since it's dealing with Highpoly, it's a pretty heavy model. And yeah, and I don't need the mirror, so I'm just gonna convert it to mesh, so just collapses everything. Okay, so get rid of this mirror. All right, cool. Oh yeah, this arm right here and this hand, I want to mirror it on the other side because I want to give it like a slightly different texture treatment. So I'm just gonna mirror that. And also, wow, it's heavy, so it's gonna take a while. It's taking a bit. Okay, there it goes. Notice how I avoided the finger. The finger I don't need to mirror because I'm just gonna duplicate it. You know, 5 fingers right here, 5 fingers over there, and I don't want the AOs, right? So that's that. And then same with this toe. This toe I want to mirror it for a different reason. Just kind of like similar with this hydraulics. It's just A, but I want the AO, the bake, to kind of translate onto the toe and also on her butt. So yeah, that's the purpose, right? And then yeah, just make sure to convert to mesh for both duplicates. So yeah, I have separated all the objects that I don't want the AO to bake on top of each other, and vice versa. The ones that I want the AO to bake, you know, I kept it together, right? And mirrored. So now that I have everything ready in place, I'm gonna select everything, Control A, and just kind of as a safety measure, just apply the rotation at scale, so everything just resets to normal, or yeah, resets the original, I guess, side according to each other. And this might take a while because this is some pretty hefty piece, right? And then while I have everything selected, just remember like how this low poly is still faceted, meaning there's still these hard edges. So to get rid of those, I'm just gonna select everything, right click and shade smooth, okay? Alright, so nice and blobby here. Next up, so as you can see with this whole mesh, look at the size of this triangle, 200 million, right? So even ZBrush would cry seeing this. I'm like very surprised how Blender is able to handle this, but I think it's about time we kind of start thinking about optimizing this. For you guys who are working on file that's like smaller than this, then this shouldn't be a problem. But for me, again, once during the texturing stage, this is going to be a problem. So I need to optimize. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select some of these low polys here, right? I'm going to separate the lows and the high polys into separate files. So I'm going to select these guys, just making sure I only select the low poly, okay? So that's why I'm kind of like wiggling around, making sure I'm not selecting the high poly. So I'm gonna Control C to select it, and I open another Blender file, just delete everything in the scene, Control P to paste it. So yeah, I have the lows here. Okay, going back here, whatever I copied, I'm just gonna press H to hide it. Repeat this process with all the other pieces. Okay, so Control C. I'll make sure it's all the lows so you can see that I accidentally selected the high poly mesh. So like that, Control C, go back here, paste, go back here, hide it. So let me just do that real quick. Okay, so I think I got all the low poly into this scene. So next up, what I'm gonna do is go back here, just select all the high poly this time. So I got the high poly, copy this. All right, so this one's gonna take a little bit of time because again, 200 million, right? So copy 33 objects, go to this new Blender scene, and I'm just gonna paste this in here. Okay, so you can kind of see the pattern: the low poly file and then the high poly file. Okay, so let me let this paste. Alright, so as you can see, I have 3 files. This is the original file with everything. I have the low poly and the high poly in here. So I'm just gonna save this into the baking folder. Call this low bake. Okay, there you go. Save that. And let's go to this one and call this high bake. Save the baking folder. Bake. Cool. So save that. Alright, so now that I have these files separated, I'm gonna start planning with the UV tiling using UDIM, and to separate them, I'm planning to have 3 separate textures or 3 separate UVs. So one being this body that I selected, 2 maybe kind of these more of that organic shape right here, you know, still pretty big massive shapes, right? And then 3 these hands right here. these hands and these toes, just because I feel like they all have, you know, the relative importance of keeping it separate, because with the body it's like this main chunk of a lot of visual interest, right? And with these organic shapes, again, within these body of created shapes, there's these like contrast of these organic shape that's like really contrasts with the mechanical look. So I want like high fidelity on these. And then also with the hands and feet, I always love to see a very detailed hand, and that's where a lot of personalities sometimes you can show. So I do want the high fidelity on these hands and fingers, and same with the toes, right? So that's my thought on trying to keep 3 separate UV tilings. So to do that, let's focus on the body first, okay? So I'm gonna select this with the hips. So again, all these are going to be on one UV tile, not one UV, but you'll see what I mean by UDIM. Okay, so UV editing, and you can see that everything's just like blobbed out, right? Because remember, we just like unwrapped it but didn't really pack it into the UV sheet. So before I move on, let's just Shift H, so you could just isolate this object. I'm gonna start grouping these objects together. Okay, so for example, like I think these hydraulics could pretty much be all on one UV sheet. Maybe these buttons too, like these guys right here. So these. So I think this could be one sheet. Okay, so I'm gonna Control J and join all these. So that's that. This body could keep one UV. I feel this head. Oh yeah. These two could be together, Control J, so together. Let me just turn on the screencast. Oh, it is on. Okay, anyways. All right, so I got this, that. So I got 4 pieces, 4 UV tiles. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so let's do that. I'm gonna go create a new, and let's call this project or PO1. Okay. So let's change this to 2048. This could change later, but just keep it 2048. And here I'm going to turn on tiled because I want to use the UDIM. So new texture. Oops, mistake. Let's try it again. Yeah. Oops. 2048. There you go. 2048. 2048. Tiled. Okay. Boom. All right. So to do UDIM, I'm gonna click on this. Where is it at? Image. Okay, so you get these UDIM tiles. So basically what UDIMs are, in a nutshell, just to get a very high fidelity texture without, you know, sharing this one UV tile right here, right? So because I have 4, I'm gonna add 3 more to this. So within this one UV page, I have 4 different UV tiles that I could use. So let's say for this one, I'm gonna call it head. So I'm gonna rename it as head, and just select the head, and I'm gonna press tab, be in face mode, A, select everything, and as you can see, this piece right here is huge, right? So this guy right here, you can see a huge piece. So I'm gonna select everything UV. Remember, I want to average island scale, so everything's kind of like on the same scale, and UV pack island. Okay, and because we did all the rotations and stuff, make sure turn off the rotation, and change this to active UDIM because I have the head selected, and pack. Boom. Okay, and you know what I can do? I feel like I could cut this piece right here because I think this piece is kind of taking a lot of space. Ideally, you don't want to put a cut in that's middle, but I think I'll just have to do it. So I'm gonna select this, mark scene, and just select this piece right here, unwrap it. So we got 2 separate pieces, and select everything again, and UV average island, UV pack island, and yeah, so everything takes up a lot more space better. Okay, and once you do this, so once you pack it, notice how really close these edges are. Some are even kind of almost touching it, and later on this will cause an issue during baking, or it won't allow you to bake. So make sure once you pack it, you scale everything just a tad like that, okay? Just slightly. So cool. So we did the head, so let's do the body next. Okay, so the body, we got a lot of pieces here, right? So let's call this body. Okay, so I'll select UV, just kind of average the island, make sure, we know we did this, but just to make sure. Okay, active island or active UDIM pack, boom. And once you do that, just kind of scale it slightly down, right? Scale it down. And if you want to be safe, just UV, what was it? Select overlap, making sure nothing is overlapping. You can do that with the head too. Select overlap. Yeah, making sure nothing's overlapping. Okay, and then maybe the hip. As a matter of fact, let me change this piece. Take this piece out. I want this to be in the hip as well. Okay, so select that piece. Call this hip. Okay, hip. Okay, select that. Alt. And then make sure UV, average island, then UV pack island, active UDIM. There you go. And just scale it down. Alright, and if you want to, you can manually kind of go in and scale things better, or pack things better. But then be careful when you do that. Then certain meshes are a lot going to be thicker, right? But just kind of puzzle it better. Yeah, I mean, a better 3D artist will not like all these empty spaces here. Okay, so let me do one more. For this is gonna be the hydraulics, right? So I'm just gonna call it hydro or hydro. Okay, so select this, make sure UV pack, or no, before that, UV average island, UV pack island. Boom. Cool, yeah, nice and clean. Scale it down again. Boom, that should be good. So yeah, let me do that with these other objects too, okay? So yeah, I mean, a few things to keep in mind. A very important step to keep in mind is once you pack these meshes into a UV island, make sure to scale it down just a teensy bit, right? Just like how you did. Again, I'll do it again, where first I'm going to name the UDIM tile, pack it, and then just scale it like that, just a bit, okay? Just cause yeah, I guess, well, like if it's too close to the corner or if it's touching the corner, you're gonna have a baking error, or I guess you're not gonna be able to bake. So just, it's a very important step to just scale it down a bit. Like that's something that was causing me a confusion. Apparently this is how it is with like every 3D software programs out there when you use UDIM. So yeah, just kind of scale it down just a bit, okay? And yeah, again, if there are anything that's like too diagonal, make sure to keep it vertical or horizontal to like pack in the UV space even better. Although like, I'm not doing the best job here to pack it in. I'm just kind of relying on Blender's default packing system. But yeah, I mean, if you're a hardcore 3D artist, then I'm sure you would do this a lot better than I can. Alright, so I have everything separated into different UV and UV tiling. So next up, all these names has to change. So that's very important for the baking. So I separated these files into 3 categories, right? So this is being the first one, second one, and the third one. So I'm gonna call it according to that. So let's just kind of focus on this, these pieces first. Okay, so this one right here, maybe I'll call it PO1 head underscore, and this is important, low. All right, so everything needs to have underscore low next to it. So right here, PO1 body, again underscore low. All right, and then this one right here, PO1 hip underscore low. Okay, and last one right here, this one, the hydraulics, PO1 hydraulics underscore low. Okay, so we got all the PO1 series. Now let's do the P2, which is these guys. So PO2, maybe I'll call it organic head, and then underscore low. Okay, so same thing. And last one, this one right here, right, hip. So PO2, oops, did I actually, yeah, PO2, I'll just keep it organic leg underscore low. Alright, so yeah, now I have the PO1s and then PO2s. So yeah, let me just get all the PO3s. So after you name them, you might get some of these stragglers like these guys. So just kind of like place them in the right format. So for this, looks like I completely forgot to kind of unwrap or kind of place them into the right tiles. So I'm gonna put this into the P2 folder, right? Or where's the P2? This one was supposed to be in P2, so it's right here. Oh no, this was supposed to be for P3. I mean. And I think I accidentally made 3 different files, but 001's the right one, or PO3.001. Okay, so I'm gonna select the hand, and then make sure to select this guy, the one without the name, and then the hand afterwards. Okay, because you want to adopt the hand name. Control J. Okay, so now they're selected, and then just kind of go through that same process. Select the hand, UV average island, UV pack, UV pack island active. Okay, so yeah, there you go. Scale it down. All right, so that's that. Let's see what else we got. So this one is, this one is also for the hand. So let's just merge this with the hand as well. Okay, so the hand, or maybe I'll place this with the finger. Okay, so Control J. Okay, so it's with the finger. Okay, so UV average island. Okay, and then UV, I'll make sure the finger is selected. UV pack island. Okay, cool. So now it's in there. Make sure to scale it down. Alright, and then last but not least, this piece, which is the hip. So we go to the hip. Okay, so change this to PO1. Okay, Control J, and then I am going to select the hip, and then where are you? UV average island, pack island, boom. Okay, and I'm just gonna scale it down. Okay, so that should be good, and all the names should be properly named correctly. So there should be 4 PO4s or PO1s, and then 2 PO2s, and then 3 or 4 PO3s, right? And then all have underscore low, underscore low, underscore low. Perfect. So what you want to do next is basically name the same format, okay, and then the same grouping with the Highpoly, which is right here. Okay, so kind of going to the Highpoly version. So I believe I had this guy and this guy's together, right? So Control J, join this, and then this one was, I believe, called PO2 organic head, and then this time I want to do underscore high. Okay, and then same with this arm right here. So I'm going to select this. So I believe all these selected, Control J, Control J. Okay, a little longer just because Highpoly is, you know, just heavier. And then this one I believe was PO3, so PO3 arm underscore, again, high. All right, so yeah, let me just go through all these and name them properly, okay? So once you name them, make sure to just kind of double check with your low poly, which is right here, that the namings are pretty much the same except high being high, no misspelling, right? Good, good, good. And then the low being low, and yeah, that should be good here. So what I'm gonna do is go to this low poly version, call this collection low right here, right? Oh, oops, I'm gonna save the high. Okay, save the high for now. Okay, go to the low, and then I'm gonna make another collection. Oops, outside of the low, another collection, call it high. Okay, and then what I'm gonna do next is go to file, where was it? Link. Okay, so link the high bake, and then the objects, and select all the meshes here. Okay, so by doing this, what I'm doing is I'm not keeping the low poly and high poly in one file. I am getting the, I guess, non-editable version of these high polys into this scene. Okay, so what I mean by that is once I have the linked version of high, the high is in here, but it's not, you know, you can't edit it, you can't move it, you can't do anything with it. It's just there as a reference, and for this case, baking the low from the high. Okay, so that's the only reason why I'm gonna just link the high onto this low, but I don't want to be able to edit it or have any of those high poly datas to kind of slow down my this whole low bake file. Okay, so let that kind of load in, because again, highs, there's a lot of heavy density with the high, so just give that a minute. So now that I have the high poly in here, we have our 10 low poly, and then you could see the 10 high poly right here, and you could see this linked icon, meaning that I'm not able to move it or edit it in any ways. It's just there for the purpose of baking these guys, and once we bake it, we're gonna get rid of them too. Okay, so yeah, I mean, if you save it, if you save this file, you could kind of see the difference with the file. The high bake, remember, just the high poly one, it's like 4 million versus the low one that I just saved right here is only 4K. So yeah, I mean, world of a difference in terms of the file size. A lot of good optimization. So yep, let's move on to the next. So finally, I'm ready to move on to the baking stage, but last but not least, I'm gonna go to all these low polys and just get rid of all the materials that I have attached to them, because now I want to use the Matplus materials. Okay, and by baking it, it's gonna pop out a new material, so I don't want to deal with this current material that I have, so I'm just gonna get rid of all of them. And yeah, I think that's about it. So I'm ready to move on. So I think this video is getting too long, so yeah, we'll cut it there and let's move on to the next chapter.